Krishna devotees, please accept my humble obeisances. All goes to Sri Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. Yeah, Santadi Mataji, when are you ready? You can please read Mataji.
Sure, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Please accept my humble obeisances. All Guru Shri Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udirayet Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavate Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Nashtaki. Today we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 58. Krishna marries five princes, verse 1 to 19. Text 1. Sukdev Goswami said, once the supremely opulent personality of Godhead went to Indraprasth to visit the Pandavas, who had again appeared in public. Accompanying the Lord were Yuyudhana and other associates. Text 2. When the Pandavas saw the Lord, Mukunda had arrived. Those heroic the sons of Pritha all stood up at once, like the senses responded to the return of the life air. Text 3. The heroes embraced Lord Achyuta and touched of his body, freed them from of sin. Looking at his affectionate, smiling face, they were overwhelmed with joy. Text 4. After the Lord bowed down at the feet of Yudhishthira and Bhim and firmly embraced Arjun, he accepted obeisances from the twin brothers Nakula and Sahadev. Text 5. Faultless Draupadi, the Pandavas' newly married wife, slowly and somewhat timidly approached Lord Krishna, who sat on an exalted seat, and offered him her obeisances. Text 6. Satyaki also accepted a seat of honor after receiving worship and welcome from the Pandavas, and Lord's other companions, being duly honored, sat down in various places. Text 7. The Lord then went to see his aunt, Queen Kunti. He bowed down to her and she embraced him, her eyes moist with great affection. Lord Krishna inquired from her and her daughter in law, Draupadi, about their welfare, and they in return questioned him at length about his relatives in Dwarka. Text 8. So overcome by love that her throat choked up and her eyes filled with tears, Queen Kunti remembered that the many troubles she and her sons had endured. The she addressed Lord Krishna, who appears before his devotees to drive away their distress. Text 9. Queen Kunti said, my dear Krishna, our welfare was assured only when you remembered us, your relatives, and gave us your protection by sending my brothers to visit us. Text 10. For you, the well wishing friend and supreme soul of the universe, there is never any illusion of us and them. Yet, even so, residing within the heart of all, you eradicate the sufferings of those who remember you constantly. Text 11. King Yudhishthira said, O Supreme Controller, I do not know what pious deeds we fools have done so that we can see you, whom the Master of yogic perfection rarely see. Text 12. Requested by the king to stay with them, the Almighty Lord remained happily in Indraprasth during the months of the rainy season, giving joy to the eyes of the city's residents. Text 13 and 14. Once Arjun, the slayer of powerful enemies, donned his armor, mounted his chariot flying the flag of Hanuman, took up his vow and his two inexhaustible quivers, and went to sport with Lord Krishna in large forests filled with fierce animals. Text 15. With his arrows, Arjuna shot tigers, boars, and buffaloes in that forest, along with rurus, sharabhas, gavayas, rhinoceroses, black deer, rabbits, and porcupines. Text 16. A crew of servants carried to King Yudhishthira the slain animals fit to be offered in sacrifice on some special occasion. Then, feeling thirsty and tired, Arjuna went to the bank of Yamuna. Text 17. After the two Krishnas bathed there, they drank the river's clear water. The great warriors then saw an attractive young girl walking nearby. Text 18, sent by his friend Arjuna, approached the exceptional young woman who possessed beautiful hips, fine teeth, and a lovely face, and inquired from her as follows. Text 19, Arjuna said, "Who are you, O fine waisted lady? Whose daughter are you, and where do you come from? What are you doing here? I think you must be looking for a husband. Please explain everything, O beautiful one." Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Over to you. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, thanks so much, Santadi Mataji. Hare Krishna. So thank you, devotees, for joining today's discussion. We'll offer brief praise and continue. Om Ajnanasmirandasya Gnananjana Shalakaya Chekshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Namam Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Desatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrindam Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So, we're continuing the wonderful Srimad Bhagavatam discussion of especially the 10th canto, which is filled with Krishna's pastimes that he has done with his devotees. So, in the last couple of chapters, we heard about the Shamataka Jewel pastime, which concluded essentially with Lord Krishna marrying Jambavan, and then finally Lord Krishna marrying Satyabhama also. In the previous chapter before this pastime, we heard how Lord Krishna married Rukmini Devi on her invitation. So far we've seen Krishna marrying three of the queens, Rukmini Devi, Jambavati, and then Satyabhama. This particular chapter will discuss how Krishna married 5 other princesses. So that makes it total of 8. And then we know Lord Krishna has 16,108 queens in Dwaraka. So apart from these 8, and 16,000 queens also will be married, and Krishna frees them from Narakasura. That we'll hear in a later chapter. So this chapter is concluding with the marriage of Krishna with the 5 other princesses. However, today's verses will not discuss about Krishna's marriage with any of the princesses yet, but it's a preparatory section to tomorrow's section, tomorrow and day after section, where you will hear from other devotees how Krishna married other princesses. So today's section will take us to introducing Kalindi, one of the queens of Krishna, who becomes a queen later for Krishna, like that. So before Krishna meets Kalindi, though, Sukadeva Goswami, in the last chapter, he told the Samataka jewel pastime. So Sukadeva Goswami was going in a flow. What was his flow? He's describing Krishna's marriage with Rukmini, Jambavati, and Satyabhama, like that. And then before he went to the other princesses, he took this side turn or side story, which is Samataka jewel pastime also. So after that side story, he came back to the mainstream, which is to describe Krishna's marriage with other princesses, like that. So now, going to the text number 1, Sukadeva Goswami is describing to Parishad Maharaj. Once our Krishna, who is supremely opulent, went to meet Pandavas in Indraprastha. Why did he go? Because they again appeared in public. Most of you know from Mahabharata past times, Mahabharata history, that Pandavas were sent to a vacation home made of lac by Duryodhana. And then he had somebody torch the home in the middle of the night so that the whole house burns. And then everybody believed, including Duryodhana, that Pandavas really left their body. But finally, they reappeared now. That they announced that they are alive right now. So that is why now Krishna and Balram, remember earlier they went to show their sorrow and they understood their all Pandavas died, even though they knew they are really alive. Now they're again following the social customs to go back uh, to when Pandavas are announced to be alive. Of course, not only social customs, they have so much affection Pandavas, who Krishna and Balram. So they're going to see Pandavas. So along with Pandavas, along with Krishna and Balaram, who else went? Yuyudhana, who is referred in the word for word meanings as Satyaki. Satyaki also went along with Krishna and Balaram. And there are other associates also who went with Krishna and Balaram. We don't know all their names, but it says other associates also went there. In text number 2, we are seeing that uh, when Krishna arrived there, Krishna is referred as Mukunda. So when Krishna arrived there, all the heroic sons of Prita means Kunti Devi, that means Pandavas, heroic sons means Pandavas. They all stood up at once. They were all sitting there, but they all stood up at once. How? Like the senses respond with the return of life air. Normally in the body is described, especially in Bhagavad also we hear, in Ayurveda also we hear that there's a pranavayu, life air that is going. Because of that life air, all the senses of the body are active also. So that when momentarily it appears like life air is gone and then it came back, how the senses will be all active. Similarly, Pandavas immediately were very happy to see as if life has come back when Lord Krishna has come. So our Srila Jiva Goswami commentary describes this very nicely. He elaborates few of these things. One is why Krishna is described as Akhileshwara, that means Lord of everything. 2 points he makes around that. One is Krishna, even though he's a Lord of everything, he came to visit Pandavas. So they're very grateful. Oh my God, Krishna himself personally came like that. That is number one aspect. Second aspect is because Lord Krishna came very fast. As soon as they announced that they're alive, Lord Krishna came very swiftly and without even announcing that he's coming like that. So that's the other reason they're describing as Lord of the universe. He can come so fast if he likes to like that. Another way Krishna is addressed in this verse is Mukunda we heard. That is Krishna, Jiva Goswami describes that his address is Mukunda because just by seeing Krishna, Pandavas felt disappearance of all sorrow and they felt highest bliss by seeing Krishna. That is why Lord Krishna is referred as Mukunda. Mukunda normally means the one who gives liberation. In this case, liberation, general term, refers to relieving of suffering or relieving of miseries. So they felt free from all kinds of sorrow and they felt highest bliss. That is why Krishna is being described as Mukunda here. And then Srila Jiva Goswami also describes when somebody is very weak and as if it feels as if life has gone and they were given with maha aushadhi herbs like medicines, ayurvedic medicines, then the life air will return with the influence of itself in the body. So similarly, like that, Pandavas became full of energy and life as soon as they saw Krishna. That's what is described here. So Now, text number 3. So, what did they do as soon as they got up? And Krishna, who is described as Lord Achyuta here, he uh, he embraced Pandavas, and when his body touched, it's described that they all became free of sin. But Srila Jiva Goswami, quoted in this BBT purport, indicates that Pandavas are pure devotees; they don't have any sin at all. But here, the word Enashaha refers to the sorrow that they felt in separation from Krishna. Now, when Krishna has came back, they're very happy. So, how they're happy? They're happy seeing the affectionate, smiling face of Krishna. So, interestingly, here, Srila Jiva Goswami describes a little bit what Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami describes in Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. So, Pandavas saw the smiling face of Krishna and they became very joyful and happy. And when they were joyful and happy, Krishna seeing their happy face, he became even more happy. Like that, this happiness mutually increases in spiritual world between Krishna and his wonderful devotees like that. So that's what is happening here with the Pandavas and Krishna. And why is Krishna described as Achyuta here? Achyuta means one who doesn't fail in his affection for his devotees. That's what we learned from Bhagavad Gita. Same thing here we're describing here. Jiva Goswami describes that Krishna did not fail. Krishna did not deviate from what? From giving great bliss to Pandavas and by embracing them for a long time, like that is described. So, after describing Krishna embracing Pandavas in this verse, in the fourth verse, is interestingly, is described Krishna goes back to following the Vaishnava etiquette. So, in the previous verse, Krishna was ecstatic and Pandavas were very happy seeing Krishna and they forgot the basic etiquette and they just embraced each other like that. But now, what does Krishna do? Krishna shows by his personal example how to follow the etiquette. He, because Yudhishthira and Bhima are elder to him, he goes down and pays obeisances to them. Because elders we pay obeisances. And Arjuna, Arjuna, he treats him as equal. Actually, our acharyas describe Arjuna is also elder to Krishna. But their mutual friendship is so close that they don't follow the etiquette of paying obeisances. Krishna doesn't follow the paying obeisance to Arjuna. Instead, Krishna embraces him like a equal, like a friend, like that. So that's a significance of great friendship between Krishna and Arjuna. That's Srila Jiva Goswami describes. And then after that, he was standing there and he accepted the obeisances given by Nakula and Sahadev, who were younger to him. So, this is a BBT purport describes it's not sinful for us to offer obeisance to senior devotees. It's good to offer obeisance to senior devotees. Like Krishna himself is personally showing to us by example. Like that, Sri Prabhupada writes in the BBT purport is written by Sri Prabhupada disciples. And text number 5. So after Krishna met all the Pandavas, then Draupadi, uh, who's the Pandavas' newly married wife, because just recently she got married to Pandavas. Remember, Pandavas were in Agnatavas and they came back and then they were sent to the vacation home and they were tried to, Duryodhana tried to kill them with the fire on the lake house like that. And then uh, after that pastime, when they were staying invisible for some time for everybody else, invisible means not known that Pandavas are alive like that. So that time they've stayed in a Brahmana's home. That is a whole pastime in Mahabharata. So that time, what also happened was Draupadi was married by Arjuna and Pandavas. After Arjuna went to the Swayamvara of Draupadi and got her hand. So that's why she is described as a newly married wife of Pandavas. And she moved slowly and somewhat timidly she approached to Lord Krishna, not running or very, very fast coming like that. That means she exhibited some shyness, which is natural for ladies. So, where did she come? She came where Lord Krishna was seated on an exalted seat, and she also offered him obeisances. Our religious Yugosam in the commentary describes Draupadi was shy because of two reasons. One is she was recently married bride. That is one reason. Second reason is she is naturally chaste because of her chaste nature. That's also brought her shyness like that. However, Sri Jivasumi also indicates she was not very strongly shy. Why? Because she did not have any kind of conjugal feelings for Lord Krishna. That's why she was shy, but not so shy like a wife to her husband like that. That's what is being described here. Right? Srila Jiva Goswami. And in the BVT purport, interestingly, Draupadi is also referred as Krishna, like a Dirga, Krishna, instead of Krishna, Krishna, like that. And it's also because she was devoted to Lord Krishna. That's why she's also referred as Krishna, like that. And then also, VVD Purport also says, we're all Krishna practicing Krishna Bhaktas. So we're also sometimes called Hare Krishnas, Krishnas, like that also. So that's what is VVD Purport is highlighting. Going to text number 6. Now, after Krishna is received by Pandavas, Krishna is received by Draupadi, and then Sukadeva Goswami is describing not only that Pandavas received Krishna nicely, all the associates that came with Krishna, like Satyaki, they also received them nicely with proper worship and proper welcome. So, and they gave them seat to sit also in a proper place. So this is also important for us to learn. So when a great saintly person comes, we not only honor the great saintly person, but his associates also nicely. That means we welcome them, we take care of them nicely. Of course, after the great saintly person, but we take care of them also. For example, we take care of the needs of the great saint who comes, like giving them food, giving him seat, giving him resting place like that. After that, we take care of his associates, including the personal servants also of the saintly person. So that's a normal etiquette. Going to text number 7. So now, after Pandavas met Krishna, after Draupadi met Krishna, Lord Krishna went to see Queen Kunti. So there are two ways is described. One Acharya describes that Krishna, ladies are usually in the inner chambers of the palace. So Krishna went to the inner chambers to meet Queen Kunti personally, like that is described. In the BBT purport, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur commentary describes it differently. The way he describes is Krishna was sitting on the seat that they offered to him, Pandavas offered to him, but then he saw from remotely Queen Kunti is coming towards him. So then, as soon as he saw Queen Kunti coming with eagerness to see Krishna, he rose up from the seat at once and then he went up to her personally and he offered her obeisances. See, etiquette again, because Kunti Devi is elder to him in the past time, Krishna is personally offering obeisances to her. And she was so affectionate to Krishna. She has so much love for Krishna that her eyes became moist, and with great affection, she embraced Lord Krishna. And then is described, Queen Kunti asked Krishna about her relatives, like how are they, how is everybody in Dwaraka, like that. Is described. Jiva Goswami describes, Srila Jiva Goswami describes that she was asking because she was his aunt only. Aunt means she was sister of his Lord Krishna's father Vasudeva. Vasudeva. So like that, that's why she's asking about the welfare of her relatives also. And then Krishna also personally asked her also about her welfare like that. Srila Goswami makes a specific comment that Krishna did not ask too many questions to Draupadi. Why? Because she was shy, being a newly married wife of Pandavas like that. She primarily asked questions to uh, Queen Kunti. And then text number 8, uh, Queen Kunti was overcome with love, prema, by remembering all the troubles they went through, and then how Krishna was saving them, Krishna was protecting them, uh, and she was so overwhelmed with affection for Krishna that out of prema she was choked up with tears of love like that. So it's described in the by acharyas that whatever troubles Pandavas went through were not because of a bad karma or anything, but because of the Leela Shakti, pastime potency of Lord Krishna. That is why they all went through the troubles. And when Queen Kunti remembered those troubles in her mind, simultaneously Krishna also appeared in her mind. When Krishna appeared in her mind, all the troubles immediately went away. So now, because of the her prema that got invoked with Krishna. So our acharyas describe that this Leela Shakti, why did they put them into trouble? This is some kind of emotions that are being invoked by Krishna through his pastime potency, Leela Shakti, like that. So, uh, Krishna's pastime potency makes pure devotees go through separation and togetherness with Krishna. That makes their time with Krishna even more joyful because of the previous separation, like that. So now text number 9. Queen Kunti spoke to Krishna, even though she's choked with tears of love for him. So she describes, we were protected by you because you remembered us, your relatives, and gave us your protection. Even recently, you sent my brother like Akrura to visit us to see how we are doing. So, like that, Queen Kunti is appreciating Krishna's protection and Krishna's remembering them. In the text number 10, that text number 10, now Queen Kunti remembers Lord Krishna's greatness and her own insignificance in humility. That's why she's saying, for you, you are the well-wishing friend and super soul of entire universe. You are such a great personality. You Supreme Lord yourself. But and then you don't have any illusion of, oh, they are my friends, they are my enemies, like that you don't have. But but you are staying in the hearts of every living entity. But if somebody remembers you constantly, then you give them special favor and you remove all their sufferings, like that she's remembering. In the BBT purport is indicated, Krishna is equal to everyone, but Krishna also reciprocates with the special love that is exhibited by his pure devotees, like that is described. Going to text number 11. Now, what did King Kunti say? You eradicate sufferings of all the devotees who constantly remember you, right? So, if devotees constantly remember you, you remove their sufferings. Like that, Queen Kunti glorified Krishna. Now, King Yudhishthira thinks, what to speak of devotees? We are not even devotees. So, even to us, you are merciful. Like that, King Yudhishthira, in a humble mood, is thinking about himself. The word used is kumedasam, that is translated as who are unintelligent. But Srila Jiva Goswami shares the same kumedasam as we are devoid of bhakti, we don't have bhakti, like that Yudhishthira is feeling in humility. And when he heard about Lord's affection to devotees from Kunti Devi, he's thinking that we are not even devotees. But you are so affectionate. Why? Only because you are you are affectionate to all the most fallen people. That is why you are affectionate to us like that. So you might have done some, not because we have done great pious activities, because of your own merciful nature, you are coming like that. Yudhishthira Maharaj is thinking about him. And then King Yudhishthira Maharaj requests uh, Lord Krishna to please stay with them for a few months. So Krishna stays there in Indraprastha for the rainy season, means for Chaturmasa. So, and everybody, all the cities residents, Dwarka's residents, Indraprastha's residents, were very happy because they got to have the darshan of Lord Krishna himself like that. So then the text 13 and 14. So now, until now, we heard Srila Sukadeva Goswami describing to Parishad Maharaj how Krishna one time visited Indraprastha along with Balaram, Satiki and others, and how he reciprocated in love with Pandavas, including Draupadi and also Kunti Devi. Now, the Sukadeva Goswami starts to describe another pastime where one time, this is the transition going towards marrying of Kalindi, the next wife of Lord Krishna. So that is the preparation we are hearing these set of verses now. So Krishna along with Arjuna went in the chariot one time to the forest to sport in hunting the animals like that. So interestingly, Arjuna is described to carry the Gandiva bow here. But Gandiva bow came after another pastime that is not described yet, which happened with the burning of Kandava forest. That's coming up. So our Acharyas described that means this pastime happened after Arjuna got the Gandiva bow from Agni, the forest, like that, of fire demon, fire god, like that, fire demigod, Agni Dev. So like that, the Acharyas may comment here. So now they went for hunting to the forest, and then Arjuna hunted different kinds of animals. Some are wild animals, some are not so wild animals, but animals that are suitable for offering to fire sacrifices described. So in the text number 16, all the names of animals are described in the previous verse, like tigers, rhinoceros, rabbits, deers, porcupines, like that. In the text 16, is described that the servants of who came along with Krishna and Arjuna, whatever animals Arjuna killed, whatever they are suitable, some animals are suitable for offering fire sacrifice. Those they took and give it to King Yudhishthira as described. Why is Yudhishthira Maharaj described as king here? Because he had a kingly nature. Not necessarily he has a big kingdom to rule right now, but his kingly nature, that's why it's described as King Yudhishthira. And then Arjuna is described as Bibhatsu. That means one who has rejected bad acts. That means he doesn't have any desire for Kalindi like that. Because this verse is describing that um, Arjuna was feeling tired and thirsty, and then he went to the bank of Yamuna. So there he is going to meet the young princess Kalindi. That is why this word is describing he doesn't have any malintentions or any bad intentions while going towards Yamuna like that. And BBT purport describes Srila Prabhupada sharing why Kshatriyas do hunting. It's violence. Devotees are supposed to be non-violent. But Kshatriyas, in order to be fit in their duty, so when the enemy comes, they need to fight bravely without any hesitation, without any worrying, oh my God, how do I fight like that? They practice fighting by going to the forest and challenging the wild animals also. So that is one reason they go for hunting is described, number one. Number two reason is when the population of ferocious animals has increased in the forest, they go to reduce that population also. And the third reason is to bring some of those animals for fire sacrifices, Vedic sacrifices. Of course, in those days, animals are offered in sacrifice because Brahmanas were so powerful that they could give a new body to that animals right away. So that's why it was okay. But in Kali Yuga, is not prescribed like that. It's described. And then Srila Jiva Goswami describes yet another reason interestingly. He says, by killing some of the wild animals, if he doesn't kill them, they would kill other animals. So by killing those violent animals, is actually causing them benefit. How? Because they're not suitable for sacrifice, so they is avoiding them to do some more killing of poor animals like that. In text number 17, uh, so what happened after the two Krishnas is described? Two Krishnas means Krishna and Arjuna. They both went to the river nearby, and they drank the clear river water after taking bath, and they both saw an attractive girl who was walking nearby is described. So our Srila Jivuswami describes why is called as they are called as two Krishnas here, because they both are Krishna and Arjuna are attracted to each other by mutual friendship. That's why they're called as two Krishnas here. And then um, they're described as Maharado word is used in this verse. Srila Jiva Goswami describes that means they're standing in a great chariot, bigger, taller chariot. So they could see a great distance. That's why they could spot this lady walking also, beautiful lady walking also. And Charu Darshanam word indicates most beautiful according to Srila Jiva Goswami. So we have only two more verses. Text number 18. So now Krishna sends Arjuna to go to that young woman, exceptional young woman, who was very, very beautiful. Some of the beautiful features are described in this particular verse. Srila Jiva Goswami describes, why did not Krishna go and meet her? Why did Krishna send Arjuna? Because Krishna sent Arjuna so that Arjuna can get understanding of the deep devotion this girl carries. That's why Krishna sent Arjuna. Not only that, Sri Jiva Goswami describes because Krishna had the desire that he want to marry that young girl. That is why, because he's going to marry her, he did not personally go. Instead, he sent Arjuna on behalf of him, like that is described. So now, after Arjuna goes on behalf of Krishna, what does Arjuna do? That is described in this last verse for today. He basically asks her some simple questions to understand who is she? Is she a devata or is she is a human being? Whose daughter she is? What is the purpose she has come? And and where did she come from? Which place she came from? Are you looking for a husband? Like that she asked. That means, are you not married? Like that. Basically, that because he understood Krishna's intention, right? That's why Arjuna asked this nice questions, simple questions to this young lady. We'll hear in tomorrow's section um, about how I think Krishnaveni Prabhuji will describe how Krishna takes Kalindi, the princess. She is the one of the next queen for Lord Krishna. And more coming up in beautiful pastimes of Krishna. We'll pause here. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Sri Prabhupada ki jai. Panchakalpatarubhyasya Kupasindhu Bevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Thank you so much, devotees. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.